Hey guys, Kev here, and I am ready to do my full review on the mini Micarta Morph. This here is from Real Steel. See if I can get it open. This is from Real Steel. This is a special edition sold by Indiana Knives, I believe out of Indiana, unless it's Indiana, Ohio, I don't know. And there was only 300 of these made. This knife was loaned to me by my new good buddy, Alex. Check out 814EDC on Instagram and especially on YouTube. He's a new YouTuber, college kid, really cool perspective, trying to see what a college kid on a budget kind of puts together in their collection. He has a cool collection, man. I can't even imagine in college what my collection would have been like if I had been collecting. Like, it's just really cool. And he loaned me this and the Kaiser Feist, so I really appreciate that. This here is an Ostap Pel design, and this is the first of his that I've checked out. It's in M390. Don't know how well you're going to see that or if I'm doing it right. And this is number 266 of 300. And this is kind of a piece together one, which is kind of interesting. I do have my Dock Street here. I'm slowly getting through a bunch of reviews because I've been slacking. I've just been doing a lot of unboxings and disassemblies lately. So sorry, you got to see this ugly mug. So this is interesting because when he sent me this, I initially was like, yeah, I'm not going to like it. I know I'm not going to like it. I told him that. I was like, dude, I'm not going to like it. And you know me, I'm very straightforward and just say what I'm thinking, and it's not always the truth or right or whatever, but that's just kind of my initial thought. And I will say it's not my favorite knife. I don't love it, but I have come to kind of understand why people like it. It does kind of work for a lefty. You can see there I can kind of flip it and everything. I can do the reach around on her. And that's all fine, but it's not fun. Like, I don't sit here and have fun playing with it. Like, it's really just sat in the knife case, and I occasionally take it out to fiddle with it. You can kind of do this, like, index finger, like, flip around type thing. I think it'd be easier right-handed because you have the clip to hang on to. You can kind of go like this and then flip around like that. I don't know how to explain that, but that's kind of cool. But again, this says one deployment method, and things with one deployment method are slowly finding their way out of my collection and out of my preference, you know? So anyway, it's a thin knife. You can see there, a very thin knife. It has this M390 blade that is very short and long, very stabby type knife. It has this little nose, witch's nose crook at the end of the blade here that kind of tapers off. Very pointy, very sharp blade. I believe it's a flat grind, not a full flat, but a flat grind. It's done very well. Again, it's made by Real Steel. This is the first Real Steel knife I've ever experienced, and I've heard great things about them. I believe they're a Chinese company, much like, you know, Steel Will, and then there's obviously Best Tech, all those guys. It's one of those companies. This again is so they have the Real Steel. What is it called? The G5 Metamorph, I think, is the full size version. I think it's like a 3.5 or 4-inch blade. It's the same design, just taller. It's skinny as well. Front flipper, same thing, right? And it comes with like aluminum scale. They have all different versions of this thing now. Then they have the mini Metamorph or whatever. And this is a version with Micarta scales, Micarta backspacer, and an M390 blade as opposed to their normal. I think their normal ones come in like 14C, 28N or something like that. But this specific one was actually a mini Metamorph in aluminum and 14C or whatever it is. And then the guy that Alex bought it off of, he bought it on Knife Swap, I think, and he bought it in a package with something, whatever. But that guy knew somebody at Indiana Knives and was able to get the scales, the blade, and the backspacer, and basically took their liners from their mini morph or whatever, and they pieced this together. So it's a very interesting situation. This wasn't bought as one of the 300 from Indiana Knives, but it essentially is one of the 300, and it's numbered as it. It's really, really weird. It's fucking strange. Why didn't the guy just buy one of the 300? I'm guessing that it was after the drop, and he just wanted one, and the guy had extra parts from, for warranty or whatever, and that's how he was able to get it. That's my only theory on that. Because, why else would you take... The only thing that's not, mini Micarta Morph is the liners. Maybe the clip. So, and the hardware. Okay, whatever. So, anyway. Aesthetically, I don't really like it. I don't like these kind of really thin, long knives. I don't have any, I don't think. Looking at my collection. Yeah, I don't think I have any, little, long knives like that. If it's a little knife, then it's usually like a little stout knife kind of thing for me. I don't know. So aesthetically, it's not really my bag, as Austin Powers would say. But I definitely see why people think it's cool, for sure. Ergonomically, it actually fits really well in my hand. It's a nice little knife. Very neutral. The jimping on here is very well done. It's not spaced too far apart. Fits really good in my hand, and I could cut with this all day, no problem. The blade is fine. Obviously, with such a thin blade, or short blade this way, you're not going to get, the thinnest knife, but they did use pretty thin stock. So it does have a pretty slicey blade on it. But obviously, the more you use, the more you sharpen. This knife is going to get thick faster than others with a thicker blade, or a wider blade, I guess you'd call it. Yeah. So, but yeah, ergonomics are good. I do want to point out that this clip is right hand only. I actually wanted to buy one of these, and I emailed Indiana Knives at the time, and they told me that you could not reverse the clip. So I didn't buy one. I'm glad I didn't, because, well, I guess if it was lefty clip, I might have a better time holding it. But still, it's just so thin, so small. It's just hard for me to flip. So that takes us into action. And again, if I'm right-handed, you have the clip to hang on to. You can just flip it up like that. You can do the reach around like that. Definitely cool. The knife drops close right under your thumb. Really cool. And you shake it down. Awesome. If I was right-handed, I'd love it. Left-handed, I don't have the clip. So now I'm hanging onto the scale. Part of my fingers are kind of holding the blade. So sometimes I can't get it out all the way. And when I do, I end up in this grip like this. And the knife is falling out of my hand. I got to quickly readjust. And then closing, I got to get to here past the detent. And then I got to do all the shaking, right? I don't get this cool drop. That's part of why this knife is fun for a righty, because it does that. And then you shake it down. That is fun. I could do this all day. See what I mean? But lefty, I got to fumble with it and then shake it, right? That's not fun. I can do the reach like that. That's probably the easiest way for me to flick this knife. It's probably how I played with it the most, is just flicking like that, closing, flick, close. Or I just did it right-handed, This does remind me a little bit of my... Oh, this is the only kind of thinner knife I have. This I just picked up is a Pena X Series large sway back front flipper, which still is much thicker than this. You can see. In all dimensions, it's thicker than this. So, not exactly similar, but it for sure has similarities. Again, cool drop right-handed, right? And I like to play with this one right-handed too. And again, reach around. So, All the good stuff is there. It does have one of those things I don't like about front flippers, and both of these have that. When it's open and you go to close it, you can't have your fingers up here because that's where the blade, that's where the front flipper landed. So you have to, if you put your finger up here and hit the lock bar, it locks it up. You have to be down here so that it'll drop. And that happens on both of them. But anyway, on this knife, it's bigger and a little thicker, so I can get a little more grip on the scale to go ahead and flick it out, and I'm in a more comfortable grip after that. And on this one, it's just a little awkward left-handed. Sometimes I lock it up where I can't even flick it. And yeah, it's just not great. But the action is good if you're right-handed, for sure. Carry, yeah, it's really good. It has this deep carry clip, goes to the butt end of the knife. I put it in pocket a few times, just popped it in my back left pocket, and it disappeared. You don't even know it's there. It's super lightweight, super thin, just absolutely fantastic in the carry department. Cutting, again, not a super tall, flat grind or anything, but it gets the job done. It slices well. I wouldn't use it as like a workhorse knife, obviously, but, I mean, who's doing that, right? There's no blade play, solid build. Fit and finish is okay. I'm not a big fan of this micarta. It's not the best. It's okay. This backspacer is all jacked up, but again, this was pieced together. It's a Frankenstein knife, so it's not really meant. I can't judge all of the micarta morphs on that, right? So I can't really say anything to that effect, but it's cool, guys. It's just a cool knife. If you're right-handed and you like front flippers, then I definitely can recommend it if this is something you're looking at. It's not my style in any way, but it's definitely a cool knife. And if you're left-handed and you somehow can like easily manipulate this knife or front flippers like that, some people I'm sure can. Maybe smaller hands, you have less of a hard time. I don't know. But let's see if I can do this. I got it. I really wanted to do this index finger flip over. Yeah. Anyway, it's just not like comfortable and fun, but it's a cool knife. So I really appreciate Alex for sending this out to me. Yeah, dude, really cool. I'll definitely get you some more stuff once I get my collection video done. So appreciate it. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.